we're just now leaving swim lessons. We got the girls packed into the all-new redesigned 2023 Lexus LX. It's been on the market for, I guess, about a year at this point. So it's not entirely new. I think it has a model year before this, 2022. But here we are testing it out with the family. Last time we had an LX for review, we couldn't test it as a family because they gave us the Ultra Luxury, which only has 4 seats in this behemoth. And it makes sense because after loading in the car seats and everything, the second row of seats doesn't move like forward and back. Cass, what do you think of the LX on the outside?
Ooh, outside. I love how it looks. I think it looks classic Lexus, you know?
Yep, it's got that classic SUV boxy design.
Yep, I think it looks really nice.
Yep. You know, the base LX or even the luxury LX looks different than this F Sport.
Really?
And so it has a totally different grille, which doesn't look nearly as good as this one.
Right.
So this is one of the best looking LXs, I think, with the grille, you know, the huge 22-inch wheels that are unique to this F Sport grille or F Sport grade look great. I showed you on the builder that my preferred grade would actually be the premium with that special appearance package. I'd get it in the green.
Yeah.
With the tan interior.
Ooh.
And with that, you can get like a special appearance package on the premium grade that darks out the grille, and it darks out the window surrounds, gives you blacked out like accents and door handles and everything. That's the route I would be going. It would probably even give you a better ride than this one.
Really?
Yeah, because these wheels are just so big. Even though like this car's silky smooth, G had no problem taking a nap on the way to swim today.
You're recording that?
That bird almost hit us. You see that? What do you think about the red? What's your personal preference?
It's not my preference, but it doesn't look terrible.
No.
It just looks a little race car.
It's, and that's like the F Sport, you know, theme.
Yeah, perfect for that like theme.
Right, and there's, I think there's a black color you can get instead of the red.
Nice.
Now, this aluminum trim here, I wish wasn't in here because it has blinded me several times already. And it's just unfortunate because like I feel like as an F Sport, put carbon fiber in here. This thing costs over $100,000. So I don't know why they can't splurge and put some carbon fiber in here to make it feel more sporty, more racy. But yes, we have blinding aluminum instead. Good. We have this dual screen setup in here that a lot of people like to harp on this Lexus LX for. I really like it. What do you think?
I like it. Each screen has its job, and I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
you know?
like Android Auto up top, your radio is up top.
Right.
And then down below is your off-roading functions as well as your climate control functions.
That's easier because then you're not like scrolling and scrolling.
Exactly. It's very simple and easy to use. Like, I really like it. Even though it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, it's extremely functional. And we have all our climate control buttons and switches down here. Here's your drive mode select. You have your 4 low, 4 high. There's no rear wheel drive on this truck. It's, you know, full-time all-wheel drive. And that's why you like, a part of why you like these trucks so much, because you look at them and you think like, let's go on a safari trip together.
Yes, I love, it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a specific vibe that really isn't out there on the market. Like the GX, its little brother, of course, has that, but like in the luxury lineups, maybe the G-Wagon's body on frame, you know, there's just not a lot of options out there. I guess maybe also the Escalade, but the Escalade's definitely more of like a road specific. You know, this thing I would have no problems taking off road, especially with the active height control.
Oh yeah, like, that's cool.
Yeah, you love being high up, and you can do it on the fly. I just pushed the little height control button here, and it's popping the car up a few more inches. Like, I actually don't like driving in the high mode because it's less responsive. It's a little bit more messy of a ride, even though it's super soft. Like, but when you get on the brakes and you're turning, your center of gravity is higher. It's not my cup of tea in traffic. But if we were doing some off-roading, absolutely the high mode's amazing. And also there's a low mode, and it's enabled, so every time we get out of the car, or should I say the truck, lowers down. That's cool. So it's a little bit easier for us to get the kids in and out. But what did you say about that earlier?
It's actually pretty hard to put the kids in the car.
Yes.
It's pretty high.
Yeah. It's hard to recommend to a family with a bunch of little kids.
And car seats.
In car seats. Yeah, if your kids are 5 and older, you shouldn't have any issues. But our little ones struggle to climb into this truck.
Yeah.
And it's also not the easiest for us. There's just not a lot of room for us to finagle. You know,
their car seats are bigger too. 5 and plus, like their car seats are smaller.
So the amenities in here, we have heated and ventilated seats as well, heated steering wheel, I don't have a digital camera or digital rearview mirror here, unfortunately. I think that is an option on the luxury grades.
I love me a good wireless charger, but it's not in the best location.
No, when we were driving, not
Okay,
only
I'll turn it off.
how we were driving eastward, or eastbound?
Yeah.
Eastbound in the morning, and the sun was just like reflecting off the aluminum and your screen. It was just blinding me.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's not in a good location.
It's not in a good location. Like, I
No.
guess it's in a good location. You can easily get to it, but it'd be better back here where it's in the shade and the screen's not going to reflect and, you know, take you off course. Oh, we were playing with the cup holders earlier, and the shifter is in a weird spot with this
not
front.
in a good
yeah, not in a
location.
good spot. Like, I guess the shifter could have been pushed forward or something, but yeah, it's in an awkward position. The front cup holder isn't that usable, I would say. Oh, there's also no panoramic sunroof in here, which I feel is like unforgivable in a vehicle of this price. Like, we have that extra light coming in the cabin, especially for the kids. It just looks like the kids are in a cave back there. I can see pretty well actually out of the rear window, even with those huge headrests up, so that's a good thing. So I guess you technically don't need the digital rear view mirror, but again, that would have been nice for such an expensive vehicle. Also, the gauge cluster here is a 7-inch screen. It gives me all the information I need, but unfortunately, it, you know, on like the RAV4, which you could buy like 3 or 4 RAV4s for the cost of this, you have a fully digital 12-inch screen here. And so you have these old-fashioned analog gauges, which can be done well, but they do look old school in here. And I guess when everything's going digital, it's just unfortunate that we don't have a fully digital screen there. We also have a head-up display, but the head-up display is identical to the old LX's head-up display. You're not going to have the most customization with it or the best brightness. And, you know, it's at full brightness right now, and it looks actually pretty dim here in the bright sunny days in South Florida. In the second row, yes, you have lots of climate control options. You have heated and ventilated seats back there. It was funny that the ventilated seats were on underneath of the kids' car seats. I don't know if the other kids messed with those buttons, but obviously they're not going to feel the ventilation going on. There's also USBs back there. One of them is actually powering the camera. And there's also sunshades on those side windows, which is actually great for kids.
Super nice. Yeah.
In the third row, there's a surprising amount of leg space. I think it's because they compromise a little bit in the second row leg space, and like I said earlier, that's why there's an ultra luxury for I guess more customization in that second row. We're on our way to the buy in bulk store now, and we're gonna find out real quick how accommodating the passenger space is while we have stuff loaded in here, because we need toilet paper, and I know it's not going to fit in the cargo, so we're gonna have to stuff it somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
it's gonna be an adventure. Now, I'd mentioned this is your drive mode select. It's also your multi-terrain select, which here on the pavement, we're not going to be taking it off-road with the family or anything, but it absolutely can do that. I did that in New Mexico, and this vehicle is a stealthy, super high luxurious off-road vehicle with crawl control, multi-terrain select. But let's talk about the powertrain. That's kind of the elephant in the room for me at this point driving this truck, after driving the Hybrid Max, or the iForce Max, I should say, on the TRD Pro Tundra last week. This uses the same twin turbo V6, same 10-speed auto, but this is not a hybrid at all. It's not even a mild hybrid, where the iForce Max gives you more power and torque and actually a way smoother driving experience. This twin turbo V6, it doesn't have the smoothest idle. Like, I can feel vibrations in the truck, which I can never do on the old V8 LX. And also just the smoothness when you're accelerating is not there as well. And sometimes when you get off the pedal, like while you're accelerating and you come to a stop, like it's really rough there when you are in the lower speeds and you get off the gas pedal. And that's something I've never felt before in a V8 LX previously. So this is just the nature of the world. V8's dying due to emissions regulations. And yes, it's more powerful at 409 horsepower compared to the roughly, I think it was upper 380s, somewhere around there. It's less than 400 horsepower, I believe, on the old LX. And also we have way more torque here at 479 pound-feet. But I still would take the V8 if it was available over this twin turbo V6, mainly just due to the smoothness and refinement of that V8 engine over this V6 turbo. And you would think maybe with the smaller engine we'd be getting better fuel economy. I'm getting about 16 miles per gallon here, which I guess maybe is slightly better than the V8 Lexus, but I'd still take the V8 over this. And it's just unfortunate the hybrid powertrain that we see in the Sequoia and the Tundra didn't make it here, because I feel like that does do a pretty good job of getting close to the smoothness of the V8 and still gives you a little bit better fuel economy. I got about 19 miles per gallon on the TRD Pro, which is a nice 3 miles per gallon better than this non-hybridized LX 600. And sitting here at the stoplight, the engine does turn off automatically and it won't remember. Like, yes, you can defeat it with the button way over here by my left knee, but that's something also with the hybrid powertrain. I never knew when the engine was on or off on the TRD Pro Tundra, and here on the more expensive LX, it's a far more jarring experience and less luxurious of a powertrain in general in every sense of the word than the iForce Max powertrain on the Sequoia and Tundra. It has a lot of torque. It's, yeah. Anyways, let's put it into like Sport Plus mode, since this is the F Sport. It really stiffens the suspension. I can feel it immediately. And what do I think about an F Sport LX with an electronic limited slip diff in the back? I think it's completely unnecessary. I don't think it's something anyone was asking for. I think more people would be more interested in maybe a more rugged off-roady trim of the LX, because that's what people do in the aftermarket with LXs. They don't like lower them and, you know, put a wing on the back, which I'm sure someone has done, but the vast majority of people customizing LXs are doing it more for the rugged off-roady capabilities of the truck. Pulling out the parking spot here, it's very easy to see the 360 camera. And it's also easy to spot the LX, especially in the high mode. Like, this thing stood above the rest of the cars in the parking lot. I haven't mentioned the Mark 11 sound system. Obviously, it would be speaking over me if I had it on, but the Mark 11 this is totally worth the price. But my gosh, it is one of the loudest, crispest, best sounding sound systems you can get on any car. So after loading up the kids, the cargo area back there, luckily there's a little pass through that actually goes to the third row of seats where you can stuff things. So it's actually more accommodating than you would think, but you really have to get crafty. I had to fold down one of the third row seats just to get the toilet paper to sit between the two girls in the back seat. Yeah. And then fold it back up to have one of the kids sit into it. So it's a nightmare in terms of our families of 6 or greater. Even though this has 3 rows of seats, it's still a logistics nightmare. But that's why Lexus has the TX coming out based off the Grand Highlander, and that should be out by the end of 2023, or at least announced by the end of 2023, and that's going to give you better flexibility with the cargo space, but not only that, but with the passenger space as well. So that's going to be a better vehicle for families who are regularly putting younger kids in their vehicles.
When I don't have kids in car seats.
Yeah. Could you see yourself driving this?
Yes. Although, like, the cargo space makes me pause, because how am I going to do groceries?
Well, there's kids not in the third row, but the thing is, we'll always have kids in the third. So yeah, it would never work for us unless some of the kids are outside the house. So when we're definitely older, not when the kids are older, but more specifically, like when we're in a totally different stage in life,
20
the LX.
years from now.
Yeah, 20, pretty much. Yeah.
This is going to be the perfect.
Right, and you know, in 20 years from now, when this is 20 years old, we'll be able to afford it too. It won't cost over $100,000 at that point
just be like
on the used market. No, well, yeah. Well, used, you know, who knows what these things will cost, because they're so rare. Lexus and Toyota like can't build enough of these things. They go for like double, triple in the aftermarket in some countries than they do brand new. So people are paying $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for an LX, and like we're driving this, and like I can find plenty of faults with it. But here's the thing: it's like a G-Wagon in other countries. We're here in America, unless you know what it is, most people they don't realize how baller you are. They don't. They think you do well. Oh, for sure. They just don't know that you do well. They don't know you're balling out of control when you're in LX, especially a new one. But yeah, there's a Toyota Land Cruiser right there. You know, he's got his kayak in it, 20 plus years old there probably, and no big deal. This thing will probably run forever. But yeah, there are some things that leave me wanting in terms of features and smoothness with this vehicle. Yeah, fit and finish, with the aluminum. Anyways, we got to end it there. LX, I have a love-hate relationship with you. I have to say I enjoyed the previous generation more just for the sake of the V8. There are things I really like about this truck with the technology. The design, I think, is better than the outgoing design, especially on this F Sport and the appearance package on the Premium. It just lacks that overall refinement. And, you know, 16 miles per gallon. I know if you have 100K, you're not thinking about fuel economy, but obviously, you know, normal people are. So anyways, we're gonna end it there. Stuck in traffic in the LX. Not a bad place to be at all with these ventilated seats and icy cold AC. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Love to see your thoughts on the LX down below. It's really good. It's not as smooth as it could be, and it's not as smooth as it once was. Mainly the powertrain's the ride's great. Anyways, I gotta cut myself off. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.